Leningrad in the early 1950s is a city still healing from war. Buildings lie in ruins and food is hard to find. Many families share one kitchen and one bathroom in large communal apartments. In one small room live Maria, her husband Vladimir, and their son Vladimir. The boy is thin and quiet. Other children call him names and push him around in the snowy yard. He often returns home with scraped knees and tears in his eyes. Inside, Maria comforts her son with soft words and small stories at bedtime. She tells him about kindness and hope, even when life is difficult. His father, a former soldier, carries a deep limp from a shrapnel wound. He speaks little, but when he does, his words ring with strength. Both parents survived the long siege of Leningrad and learned that courage and spirit matter most. Their love gives Vladimir the safety he needs to find his own strength. When Vladimir turns 12, a group of older boys challenges him to a fight near the frozen playground. He is scared but remembers his mother's advice. Stand tall and face your fear. That day, he does not run. A few days later, he notices a faded sign above a gym door. Judo Club. Curious, he steps inside. The mats are old and stained, but to Vladimir, they seem full of possibility. His coach, a tall man named Ivan Nikolaevich, watches quietly as Vladimir bows and steps onto the mat. In the first lesson, Vladimir falls hard and tastes cold wood. He wants to give up, but Ivan's calm voice reaches him. "Strength is not enough," the coach says. "You must learn with your mind." Vladimir practices basic throws again and again. Each time he falls, he feels pride in getting up. He learns to move, to use his opponent's weight, and to think quickly. Ivan's words stay in his mind. Be smarter, not stronger. Vladimir's days change. He wakes before dawn, wraps himself in a heavy coat, and walks through empty streets to reach the club. He practices footwork, balance, and concentration until his muscles ache. In the afternoons, he goes to school. His homework once lay unfinished on his desk, but now he completes every assignment. He reads about Russian history and dreams of great leaders. He sketches statues of heroes in a small notebook he keeps hidden under his bed. Evenings are for family. He helps his mother carry water and cleans the hallway for extra rations. At night, he writes a few lines in his journal. Today, I threw Sergei. I felt proud. Sometimes he adds a quick drawing of himself mid-throw. His parents notice his quiet determination. Maria smiles when she reads his simple entries. His father pins a small bronze medal on Vladimir's jacket after his first local tournament. It is not gold, but it shines brightly in the soft light of their apartment. At school, classmates see a new boy. Vladimir stands tall when older students make jokes. He helps younger children with reading and teaches them simple judo holds in the schoolyard. They watch with wide eyes as he shows a graceful throw. Their laughter and claps give him a different kind of strength, one that comes from sharing what he has learned. With every practice, Vladimir's confidence grows. He learns patience as he watches a friend struggle with a technique and helps him master it step by step. He feels joy not just from winning matches, but from seeing others succeed. His coach's voice echoes, "A true judoka cares for others." He begins to believe that strength is also in kindness. Late at night, before sleep, Vladimir closes his eyes and imagines his future. He sees himself teaching children self-defense under the wide sky of Leningrad. He pictures himself standing before a small crowd, sharing lessons of courage and resilience. He dreams of bringing honor to his city and country. proving that even a small boy from ruined streets can become a wise and strong leader. Each fall, each lesson, and each moment of quiet reflection shapes him. From the cold, broken city to the warm light of the judo gym, Vladimir learns that true strength comes not only from muscle, but from heart, mind, and the courage to face each new challenge. After graduating in 1975 from Leningrad State University with a law degree, Vladimir Putin received an unexpected offer. The KGB wants him as an officer. He feels both pride and curiosity. He accepts and travels to Moscow for his first training sessions. In a windowless classroom, he studies codes and ciphers. He learns how to forge documents and practices calligraphy until his handwriting is clear and precise. Every morning he wakes at 5 and begins lessons in disguise and secret communication. He studies how to change his appearance, use new names, and blend into a crowd without being noticed. Training is hard but familiar in its discipline. Vladimir remembers his judo lessons about focus and control. In the KGB school, he adds new skills, foreign languages like German and French, silent observation, and body language reading. He sits in busy parks, pretending to read a newspaper while he watches people's gestures. He hides secret messages in plain sight and learns how to send and receive them. His instructors teach him to spot lies and read small movements. He keeps a tiny diary in his pocket, writing in shorthand that only he can understand. By the end of each week, he feels stronger in mind and sharper in observation. After training, Vladimir returns to Leningrad for his first posting. He dresses as a civil servant and opens a modest office. His tasks are small but important. He monitors local suspects, visits factories, and records conversations he hears. He checks ledgers and notes any unusual details. He visits post offices to look for coded messages in letters. The work is quiet and methodical. He files his reports on time and follows every instruction. His superiors notice his careful work and trust him with more responsibility. He learns that patience, accuracy, and attention to detail are vital in his secret role. In 1984, Vladimir was sent to Dresden, East Germany, under the cover of a cultural attaché. He lives in a simple apartment near the city center. Each day he rides the tram to a language school where he meets German teachers and students. He discusses books and poetry while he gathers information. In the evenings, he visits a local chess club to meet professors and businessmen. He writes every detail in coded notes. One night, he senses he is followed. He stays calm, slips into a crowded bookstore, and then exits through a back door. He loses the man and makes his way home. That close call teaches him to trust his instincts. In 1991, the Soviet Union collapsed and the KGB dissolved. Vladimir returns to his hometown, now renamed St. Petersburg. The city is in chaos. Factories close, prices rise, and food is scarce. Old colleagues scatter into new fields. Vladimir feels uncertain but sees an opportunity. He remembers his training, discipline, quick thinking, and clear reports. He decides to use those skills to help rebuild his city rather than spy on it. An old professor, Anatoly Sobchak, has become mayor of St. Petersburg. He invites Vladimir to join his city hall team. Vladimir accepts and begins work on foreign trade and investment. He negotiates deals to exchange timber and oil for food and medicine. He travels to Helsinki, greets business leaders in simple English, and delivers clear presentations. He develops a system to track shipments by weight and date. He visits local markets to see what people need. He also volunteers at a youth center, teaching basic English and giving notebooks to eager students. When a major food shipment goes missing, Vladimir acts quickly. He organizes an audit of cargo records. Using his code-reading skills, he compares ship manifests with dock logs. He discovers workers' misreported weights. He corrects the records, improves the process, and secures new supplies. His calm voice and clear logic restore trust and earn respect across political lines. Colleagues begin to call him Vova, a friendly nickname that shows their regard. His loyalty, patience, and quiet efficiency build a strong reputation. This marks the start of his political journey. After years of steady work in St. Petersburg and then in the Kremlin's property office, Vladimir Putin took a new step in August 1999 when President Boris Yeltsin named him prime minister. At first, few people knew his name. He arrived at his new office early each morning. He studied reports and met with aides in small rooms. He learned to manage government buildings and land. Soon, he also became director of the Federal Security Service. In that role, he oversaw domestic intelligence and counterterrorism. He used his training from the KGB and his experience in city government to organize clear plans and quick reports. His calm manner won respect behind closed doors. In September 1999, Russia faced a sudden crisis. A series of bomb attacks destroyed apartment buildings in several cities. Hundreds of civilians died. Fear swept the nation. As prime minister, Putin acted quickly. He insisted on a firm response. He ordered Russian troops into Chechnya to stop terrorists and restore order. He visited a military hospital to meet wounded soldiers. He spoke softly but firmly to grieving families. "We will protect our people," he said. He also promised aid to families who lost their homes. News cameras showed him handing blankets and notebooks to children. These images helped to build a reputation of strength and compassion. On December 31, 1999, in a surprise announcement on live television, President Yeltsin resigned. He named Putin acting president. In that moment, a quiet man from Leningrad became the leader of Russia. In his first speech as acting president, Putin spoke simply and directly. He thanked Yeltsin for his service. He promised to fight corruption, to improve the economy, and to bring unity. He asked citizens for their trust. He spoke of stability and national pride. Many Russians heard a sincere voice and felt hope. Early in 2000, a presidential election was held. Putin's team arranged a modest campaign tour. He rode the train to visit factories and small towns. He walked with workers in coal mines and farmers in rural villages. He greeted miners at their shifts and shared simple meals with fishermen along the Volga River. He listened to their concerns about safety, jobs, and pensions. He spoke about security, unity, and national pride. He reminded voters that after years of chaos, they deserved a calm and steady leader. On election day, he won over 50% of the vote and became Russia's president. After his formal inauguration in May 2000, Putin moved quickly to build a new Russia. He reshaped the media landscape by bringing key television stations under government oversight. He argued that a unified message would help the country recover. Critics called this control, but many citizens accepted it, believing it would end the division and fear of the 1990s. He also confronted powerful businessmen known as oligarchs. When one oil company leader was accused of fraud, Putin allowed the courts to proceed, showing that no one stood above the law. This action sent a clear signal. Loyalty to the state was paramount. At the same time, Putin used Russia's oil and gas revenues to boost the economy. He invested in roads, schools, and hospitals. Pension checks arrived on time. Unemployment fell, and new jobs appeared in cities and remote regions. Ordinary families noticed new subway lines, cleaner streets, and repaired bridges. In interviews, citizens thanked him for simple improvements that made their daily lives easier. His approval ratings rose as people felt the benefits of a more stable economy. On the world stage, Putin sought respect and partnership. After the September 11th attacks in the United States, he offered support in the fight against terrorism. He met President George W. Bush in Washington, D.C., and spoke about mutual interests. He attended NATO meetings and spoke about security and cooperation. While tensions over NATO expansion and other issues remained, Putin showed a willingness to work with Western leaders when it served Russian interests. By the end of his first term, Vladimir Putin had moved from the hidden corridors of security services to the grand offices of the presidency. He combined firm action with thoughtful planning. He balanced strong measures at home with careful diplomacy abroad. His journey showed how a man trained in discipline, strategy, and clear thinking could guide a nation through crisis into a period of relative calm and rebuilding. His leadership style, quiet yet decisive, set the stage for his long role at the center of Russian life. Over more than 50 years, Vladimir's life shows us how a single person can change through steady effort, clear goals, and a strong heart. As a thin, shy boy in war-scarred Leningrad, he faced hunger, cold, and teasing from other children. He found courage in a small judo club at age 12. There, under the guidance of his coach, he learned that real strength comes from the mind as much as the body. He practiced every day, falling and rising again, and he grew more confident with each throw. After law school, he joined the KGB and trained in codes, disguise, and careful observation. Those years taught him patience, focus, and how to read a room without drawing attention. His posting in Dresden tested those skills when he slipped away from a dangerous follower and escaped on silent feet. When the Soviet Union fell, he returned home to a broken city. He used the same discipline and clever thinking to help rebuild St. Petersburg's economy and food supplies, earning a reputation for loyalty and calm problem-solving. In Moscow, he rose through the ranks of government service and security work without seeking the spotlight. As prime minister in 1999, he faced fear and chaos after apartment building attacks. He acted decisively, using both strength and compassion to restore order in Chechnya. When President Yeltsin resigned on New Year's Eve, Vladimir became acting president almost without warning. He spoke in simple, honest words about unity, security, and fairness. His train visits to miners, his handshakes with young students, and his promise to protect families won the trust of millions. Elected president in 2000, he brought Russian television under national guidance, arguing that unity one day would help heal division the next. He used oil and gas revenues to fix roads, schools, and hospitals, showing that effective leadership can join firm action with practical kindness. Abroad, he offered support in the fight against terrorism after September 11th, seeking respect and partnership with other nations. Through every challenge, he remained calm, disciplined, and clear-headed. The deepest lesson from Vladimir's story is that small steps build great change. His path from a fearful child to a national leader depended on steady practice, quiet focus, and caring for others. Today we can follow his example by setting simple daily goals, learning from each mistake, and helping someone else grow stronger. If you practice one new skill for even 10 minutes a day, you will improve. If you treat others with kindness and listen before you speak, you earn respect. Congratulations! You have listened to the entire story and practiced your English listening skills. Now test your memory. Which quality was most important in Vladimir's rise? A. Daily discipline. B. Sudden luck. Type A or B in the comments below. If you enjoyed this lesson, please subscribe to our channel for more inspiring stories. If you would like to support our free work and help us cover production costs, consider making a small donation. Your support keeps these lessons coming. Thank you for being here.